that's about it.
Do you have anything for Mike?
I just want to say those alleys are great.
Yeah.
So every time I've driven down them, they're a world of difference. So thank you very much.
Jess?
I got a couple things. We got our police department testing this Saturday at AM. We'll start with our physical agility test, and then we'll move up here for the written test part of it. So Saturday at 8. We had 11 or 12 say they're coming. We'll see who shows up Saturday morning. And from July 1st through July 5th, I had dispatch run our numbers for fireworks complaints out here in the city of West Burlington, and we had 7 this year. No citations were issued. We talked about that during the staff meeting this morning, something we can look into cleaning a few things up in the city ordinance, and if we want to go that route, we can go that route next year with citing if we want to. I don't care. I'll let the officers know what you guys wish to do. I know there's more than that out there, but I think last year when I ran the numbers, we had 35 complaints. I think with COVID last year, nobody had anything to do, so they went out and bought fireworks and set them off.
Anybody have anything for Jess? I think overall your officers did a good job on Sunday.
We did confiscate some fireworks where we did tell them knock it off and go back 30 seconds later and they were lighting them off again. So we did confiscate some fireworks. They'll be destroyed. But that was about it.
Didn't shoot them off at your house, did you?
No.
Destroyed.
Okay. All righty. Sean's not here. You got anything on that side, Jess?
We went over to Burlington Monday or early Monday morning, about 12:20 for auto aid for 2 garage fires and a house fire. Started in one garage. It worked itself into the house and then the neighbor's house. Ended up with about 7 exposures that were damaged by the fire. It's suspicious, but they don't believe it had to do with fireworks. But I know Fire Marshal Crooks is working on that with Burlington Fire Department. So we had 8 guys that went over there and responded for that. And besides that, we had, I think, 1 other med call on July 4th, but it was no, there was no, fireworks injuries or anything like that. So.
Anybody have anything for Jess? Kelly, you got anything going on? Angie?
Sean's gone till, I think he gets back the 16th. If there's any critical nuisances, shoot me an email and I'll get a notice out or give him a call or such. I'm doing some permits that I can, but not all. Finance side, I'm just doing year-end, finalizing the 4th of July stuff for Andy.
Okay. Kathy, what's going on?
Well, I have some thanks concerning the 4th of July. Thanks to everyone who showed up at the parade, and thanks for all the parade participants. And especially thanks to our 3 parade judges this year. We had Melissa Figuereo, Anibal Figuereo, and Chip Genentino were our 3 parade judges. And especially thanks to Andy for putting that whole day together for everybody.
Yep. Andy?
I'm just going to follow up on that and thank everybody in this room for all your help and support. I know it's a lot of work to make that event happen, and it's a lot of work for our staff here internally too, but I hope seeing all the fun and smiling faces and people enjoying the fireworks and the band and everything is worth it, because it is for me. So I think that's a pretty special thing we do, and it's enjoyed by a lot of people. I talked to people from Florida, from Texas, from one of the guys that won one of the raffles was from Ankeny. He just brought his wife down here for his anniversary. He just said he always wanted to see the event. So pretty cool thing for our town. So thank you all very much.
Just thanks for them for putting on a great 4th of July.
And Trace.
Well, my praises are for Bickles, who are always there every year with the bike races, and it's, they're a great business for West Burlington, and to give up their 4th of July to come out and get bikes ready and do the judging and stuff of that is just wonderful. And then I resumed the kids' parade this year. I'm sad to say I only had 4 contestants, but next time we'll advertise it a little better. The kids that were there just had a ball with it. And then, of course, I want to thank Walmart for donating the prizes for 1st, 2nd, 3rd place in their decorations. And of course, Andy did a good job in following in his dad's footsteps, and he ran this off real well for his first year.
I'll second that. Thank you, Andy and Kathy, for volunteering, and Therese and Royce for doing that. The only thing I gotta say is, maybe we can tone down the volume on the band. My house was shaking. And I was it was great on that side. But you get on this side, I think you had problems hearing.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Well, that comes from my wife, because she noticed there was, people brought up some small babies and heading up there, and I said she was worried about their ears, their hearing. So,
Well, the parents should have gotten some
yeah,
protectors too.
anyway. Next thing we have on the agenda is community reports, and Chelsea's here, and Ella's here. Give us an update on the Convention Bureau.
Good evening. Thanks for having me tonight. As many of you know, I'm Chelsea LaRue, Executive Director of the Greater Burlington Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we are a division of the Greater Burlington Partnership. And just a reminder that the mission of the CVB is to market and promote the Greater Burlington community as a premier destination to both leisure and business travelers. We accomplish this through marketing campaigns, recruiting large events to the area, and supporting local lodging and tourism attraction partners. Some of the areas of focus that the CVB works on is the community marketing. Within the community marketing, there's a number of aspects there, and we'll talk about some of the pieces specifically here in a little bit. Our largest marketing piece is our Burlington, West Burlington area community guide, and I'll share some numbers and stats on last year, where we ended up the year with sharing the community guide and where we are so far this year. We work with a lot of group tour coordination, and that includes all of our riverboat dockings that do dock on the Mississippi River, operate the Port of Burlington Welcome Center, and then spend a lot of time supporting our tourism stakeholders and partners. And because of all that work, we do have to evaluate it and try to determine what's successful and how we're finding that success. And so these are a number of the ways that we do evaluate our efforts, and we'll share some of these stats and numbers with you. But it's our hotel motel occupancy reports, our community guide tracking, welcome center tracking, track all of our digital marketing campaigns and analytics, as well as the U.S. Travel every year puts together the economic impact of travel in Iowa counties report, which share with you. They do release this report every fall, so we're looking at numbers from 2019. It's always a year behind. So Des Moines County visitor expenditures are just shy of $149 million, and we rank 19th out of all 99 counties in Iowa. And that ranking has stayed pretty steady, but our tourism expenditures do continue to grow every year. Tourism in Des Moines County supports over 1,000 jobs and brings in over $9 million in state and local taxes. So definitely is an economic driver for our area. And as Andy alluded to, visitors are coming from all over the nation for anything and everything. So it's always fun to have those conversations with the different visitors. Looking at hotel motel occupancy, blue is 2019, red is 2020, and green is where we're at so far in 2021. April of last year was really ugly, but I'm really happy to see where the numbers are starting to trend for 2021. We are starting to see that growth. Year to date, we're up about 10% from last year, but we're still down about 20% from 2019, but we are trending in the right direction. And then the top Iowa communities for the state of Iowa are up about 20% over 2020. So a little bit lower than state overall, but we are trending in the right direction. American continues to do very well. Major kudos to Rajan and that property over there. They just do a fantastic job, really have turned it around and are doing good things over there. When we look at those percentages in numbers, it's sometimes a little easier to actually envision what does 45% occupancy for our area mean. That means about 377 rooms were booked, if we just say last night. An average of 2 visitors per room, so about 754 visitors, bringing in an average $120 economic daily spending, which brings in about a little over 90,000 average daily economic impact. So just slightly lower than 2020 or 2019 when we look at it in this view as well. As I mentioned, the community guide is our largest marketing piece that we put together. We print 30,000 guides every year, and we mail these guides out all over the world. Traditionally, it's all 50 states and about 30 different countries that we're mailing the guide to. Even in 2020, we did have to limit our fulfillment. We weren't able to fulfill every guide due to budgeting concerns, but we still mailed out over 12,000 guides based on direct requests from our ad placements. That's the highest number of guides that we've ever mailed based on our ad placements, so we were very pleased with that. Even with the pandemic, visitors were still thinking about traveling, where they wanted to go next, and they were really starting to do their research and digging in. So far this year, in 2021, we have distributed a little over 21,500 guides, and 6,000 of those are based on our direct ad placements. So halfway through the year, halfway to where we benchmarked last year, so very pleased with that. We have mailed to all 50 states already, including Washington, D.C. We've only mailed to 2 countries so far because just as of July 1, we reinstated fulfillment of our international requests. So we were starting to, we went backdated to some requests that came in the last few months, and we're starting to fulfill all of those now. Visitors are also spending just shy of 8 minutes on the digital community guide, so they're really digging into the information and doing research on what they want to go explore while they're here in the area. We also run a number of digital marketing campaigns. A couple of years ago, we switched to the ideal day concept, so they're kind of themed itinerary concepts versus just randomly picking some things. We picked 3 target markets to target these itineraries to, so that's our family, targeting moms, and we're really focusing on Peoria, Quincy, and Ottumwa for that campaign. Empty nesters, we're targeting the 55 plus, and Peoria, Quincy, Quad Cities areas are receiving those ads. And then we haven't come up with really a fun name or a good name for the third category, but we call it the pub crawl audience. So we're looking more at those young adults that like the craft beer, the adventure. They're liking North Gorge or Flint River Trail. They might have kids at home, but they're looking for a group of friends to go out and have an adventure together. So we target Peoria, Quincy, and Quad Cities for those areas. We just wrapped up the spring campaign. We ran it April, May, and June, and each campaign saw an average of 60,000 impressions per month. So they had very good views there, and great click-through rates for visitors that are actually digging in for more information. Last year in 2020, we launched a new campaign that we called the We Live It, You'll Love It campaign. So we worked with 2 local families to be kind of our influencers, and we asked them to, once they were comfortable, to go out into the community and go explore some things. We targeted the older family audience, that 45 plus, strictly on Facebook, and then the younger audience, younger family audience, ages 25 to 39, strictly on Instagram. This was the first time we'd ever ran a campaign solely on social media, and we had planned it before COVID hit, but COVID hit kind of became a blessing because everybody was living on social media at that time. So our campaigns hit the right audiences. We targeted Madison, Wisconsin, and Chicago, Illinois, because those are the top 2 geographic areas that visit our website the most, and so we wanted to actually get more information into their hands. And we were extremely impressed with the results that these campaigns combined reached over 1.5 million viewers. And then with that, they had a click-through rate, so they clicked through to a blog then on our website about each adventure that the families went on, and then clicked through to also request community guides and more information. Click-through rate of 0.1%, average industry standard is 0.05, so we doubled the industry standard there with our click-through rate with individuals requesting more information. This campaign did also win the 2020 Outstanding Social Media Campaign from the Iowa Tourism Office in April, so major kudos to our team, Dustin, team at the office, and including Dustin, for helping us make this campaign possible. It was exciting to get some accolades there behind it as well. So 2021, the CVB is kind of focusing on a strategy of industry recovery. What can we continue to do to support our local tourism partners? Is there, when state session was still on, paying attention to state legislation to see if there were some pieces out there that could support our stakeholders, as well as paying attention to the federal scene and what are some federal dollars out there that can support our stakeholders. I think Des Moines County is doing fairly well in our recovery. Everybody's looking for road trips this summer. We're a great road trip destination, especially when we look at Madison or Chicago, those two areas that we definitely targeted. We're a great distance there. People are kind of looking for that 4-hour drive range, so we're seeing some good recovery there. Industry experts are saying 23 or 24 is when we'll see full tourism recovery. And kind of what will get us over that point to full recovery will be to get the business travel back. That's kind of the next step for us to focus on, is to helping to get that business travel in there. Working with our riverboat docking partners and continuing to support the Port of Burlington Welcome Center. So with the riverboat dockings, we do have 3 on the schedule. We'll be welcoming the American Queen Steamboat Company back with their American Duchess and American Countess vessels. American Countess is a brand new vessel that was supposed to launch last summer, so our 2 dates, September 3rd and October 4th, will be the very first time that that boat has ever been in our community. So very excited to welcome those to the area. Also, as a reminder, next summer, 2022, we'll be starting our partnership with Viking River Cruises. So we've spending a lot of time this last year helping getting everything set up in place and putting together many additional excursion packages, just like you would see on an ocean liner cruise line. We'll have those opportunities here as well. And very excited that those passengers will get to explore all of Des Moines County while they're here for those experiences. Also been working a lot at the Port of Burlington Welcome Center. In January 2020, we started the venture of having a gift shop and souvenirs in place. And so this last year, we've been continuing to grow that and expanding on that. It's always fun to talk to visitors and find out what is that cool souvenir that they're looking for, and we're building that wish list item so we can continue to add merchandise to the offerings, hoping to have a good selection in place by that time the first docking comes in place. We do have over 400 brochures down at the Welcome Center, so it's a great place for residents as well. If you're looking for your own road trip, stop down and we can provide a lot of suggestions on and materials on destinations nearby us as well. So far, through May in 2021, we've had a little over 1,100 visitors. So our visitor daily stats are about half of what we're seeing, but we're starting to see that visitation pick back up. It was kind of funny the other day. I called down and talked to the staff member working, and she was like, "Whew, I've had a really busy afternoon. I've had visitors from Louisiana and Texas and South Carolina, and because we're a State of Iowa Welcome Center, we ask everybody to sign a guest book." So she had this couple from Louisiana in there. She asked them to sign the guest book, and they looked 2 lines up above them, and they go, "Those are our neighbors. We had no idea they were traveling here as well." So it just reminds us that it's a small world, and so that was fun to be able to interact with those visitors. Visitors so far at the Welcome Center have come from 33 states and 1 country. We have had visitors from Switzerland here so far this year as well. So that's just kind of a brief update on things that we've been working on, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions, comments? Chelsea, under the hotel, back to the hotel, the 2019 numbers, is that the last year for the fertilizer plant? Do they include those?
No, I think halfway through 17 would have been fertilizer plant impact.
Okay.
So
Time
we've,
flies.
I know, right? So we had a couple years without fertilizer plant in there, but during those years, we've been working on trying to bring the market back because so many, like especially of our sports teams, were kind of pushed out during the fertilizer plant construction because they weren't able to find hotel rooms. So we were working really hard to encourage those teams to come back and get them back in the area.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, one thing, we just recently had a get-together, the sports grant, with
Yes.
the committee I'm on. So we had that, we got together and all the events that applied, we split up money. And now it's into the state.
We'll turn the state application in on Friday. That is when it's due. And then we'll know late August, early September if we've been awarded sports grant again. So far, we've been awarded 6 years, so hopefully our odds are good.
Good. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's always a good presentation. Leave it up. Okay. Next one is Sarah from Southeast Iowa Regional Planning on the Housing Rehab Program update.
I don't know if I want to follow her. Well, I think you've been talking with Mike Norris, but he was unavailable tonight. So I'm Sarah Hecox with the Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Commission. Him and I work together. We administer the Great River Housing Trust Fund. It's an organization that we started in 2010 and was funded in 2011. So we've had a grant every year since 2011. We started with rehab assistance to individuals and down payment assistance, and have expanded that to upper story financing and development. So we were looking at a partner with West Burlington with TIF funds, that if they would contribute $15,000, we would do a $1-for-$1 match and do an owner-occupied rehab project. This would be for fiscal year 2020, so it would start July of this year, and then we would wrap it up in June of 2022. Our office is responsible for finding the applicants, processing them. We would do the inspections, the bid scopes. We do the pre-construction meetings with the homeowners, file the closing documents, inspections, all of that. So with the city's funds of 15 and our funds of 15, it would be a pool of 30 that we would use for that year of the project. We like to do exterior items on the homes. We get a lot of requests for roofs. That's probably the #1 rehab project that we see. And then a lot of windows, siding, doors, soffit, fascia, gutters. All of those are items that we would like to help the homeowners with. Typically, we like to do around $10,000 per project. So depending on the size of the house and the needs of the homeowner, we could do 2 projects, maybe 3 with those funds. And then, so these would be at 30% of the, we use the statewide numbers. Was the memo included in the board packet?
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, a household of 1 would have to make below the 23,910, and then it would vary depending on your household size. So that's the income that we would target. The trust fund, we have to have so many of our funds each year go towards this income. And then, so we would verify that for the homeowners to make sure that they are below those incomes. So they receive a 5-year forgivable loan. We put a lien on their house, and then it's prorated at 20% that each year that they live there, and then it would be 100% forgiven after the 5 years, and then we release that lien. That's to ensure affordability period that's required from the Iowa Finance Authority. So we put that on the house. We bid these out. A lot of homeowners have trouble finding their own, they don't know who to contact, they don't know the right process. So we send an inspector over, complete a bid scope, and then we send them out to contractors that we have worked with in the past. We also welcome, if the homeowner has a specific contractor that they would like to work on their project as well. We're seeing it's kind of hard to get bids back recently, but we are working on maybe getting some additional contractors to work with us. And then the contractors would get paid. We could look at partial payments or one at the end. Our inspector goes back to look at the project, make sure it's done correctly. Then we release the payment to the contractor, and then they offer a 1-year warranty for the project. So that is kind of what we're looking to partner with the city of West Burlington. We get a lot of requests from homeowners needing assistance. So I don't know if you have questions about our program.
I thought we approved this
Yeah, we did.
6
yeah.
months ago, yeah, or we
They just-
started
They're just
taking,
wanting to give us an update.
okay, yeah, we started taking
Okay.
projects, or,
Well, I know he was talking about,
I think there's one,
we've done one, and then we have another individual there we are looking to assist. Have some verifications that we're working with her, and then, so if any other individuals that you know of that are needing help, I know Hans sent us one, a neighbor of his dad. So if you know of an individual in the community, you can see the roof spat or something, you can send them to our office. But
what's the process for the community finding out about the program and what's available?
so what's available through the remaining of your funds?
Yeah, how would our neighbors find out about the program?
They
How
can
does-
call our office. They can call my number, or on the website, my information's on there. And then we can send them an application, and they kind of have a process that way.
Okay, sounds like we probably need to do some outreach on our end.
I think it's listed on our website, a link to regional planning.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that, like, we've put it out there that if you're interested in having this done and you want to see if you qualify to contact, we can do like
Yeah.
some kind of, like a press release of some sort like that. Would that-
And we could put something on our Facebook, and you could share it or
Yeah.
something, but,
I really like this program. I think it's great
oh
for
yeah,
our
it's
community,
very,
so,
and the homeowners are very appreciative, and a lot of them are on fixed incomes, and they don't have
yeah.
any other means. So,
I guess I expected more of like, hey, July, we're doing this outreach program, we're gonna get 25 people that need it, we're gonna narrow it down to the 3 that we really think,
we
and,
usually just kind of do first come, first serve is when the individuals come in. We do have a lot of homeowners that do call the office, but they're not necessarily below this income guideline. So sometimes it is harder to find those homeowners, but we do have individuals that call a lot. We work with Community Action. We get calls from them. We get calls from the hospital. Homeowners needing assistance in one way or another. But we have a lot of partners in the community that will send us individuals. Christian Action, we work with them.
Will you keep us updated when you do settle on which project has been selected, which household?
Yep, we have one that we are working with now, and then we have another individual who is checking on some stuff with her, with the household income, that we're working with her as well. So we do have some individuals that,
Okay, so you'll let us know when you know who they are? Okay.
That's the other thing, if we advertise it now, we didn't put a lot of money aside for this one, so it could possibly already be getting close to
allocated.
allocated at this point.
I forget what,
How much
the
money
last
do we
one was,
have?
a little over 10,000, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I forget how many years ago we did,
Owner occupied.
owner occupied in
8?
Old Town. I think there was like 8 or 9 at that time.
Yep, that's another.
It's a different program.
But if the city would like to apply for that, that's another program that with the Community Development Block Grant, you can apply for 6 homes for a community. It's kind of the same program. They can get $25,000 per house. It's still the exterior items. It's federal funds, so it has a whole new set of rules that come with it, but that is another option if the city would like to apply for a CDBG program. Which was that about 7 years ago we've done, 8 years ago?
Approximately, yeah.
So it's been a little while since the city participated in that program, but that is an option.
Any questions, Sarah?
Would this program we have open right now, would that help some elderly homeowner buy a furnace or not?
We have done furnaces and like hot water heaters.
I think this one was mainly exterior though, wasn't it? They-
Well, yeah, but it can
Depending on the
be
need.
used for other
depending
things.
on
Right.
The need.
Yep. We don't do like central air, stuff like that, or remodeling. We like to keep the project more exterior. We will do like a furnace. We get a lot of calls for furnaces in the winter. So,
Right. Any other comments, questions? Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All righty. Anyone wishing to address the council on matters that are not on the agenda tonight? I guess we'll go to new business, which is item number 1 is to consider resolution supporting workforce housing tax credit application for Westfield Apartments. And Ryan is here to give you a little update about that. Ben, are you part of this too? Okay.
Ryan, you can just put your.
Yeah, you can just,
I'm John Mercer, by the way, with Ryan at Midwest. I got a few things for you guys.
Is there a way to pull the packet up? I think it's in the packet.
Brad could probably do that.
Yeah, you want me to pull up the
Yeah.
packet?
Okay.
I'm good, you?
We'll just go to the website real quick and pull it up.
What's your name?
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you were item 1, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
See how tech savvy I am here.
You can just, over to the left, Ryan, you can just click on the next slide, it'll come up. When you're done with that one.
It should scroll through that one.
Will it scroll?
That one document, but if you need to go to another document, you'll have to click on the far left, the
Oh,
other.
no, this is fine here. Yep. All right, good evening, all.
Hello.
So, what we have here this evening is a little overview, very high-level overview of a proposed project that we're looking at doing here in West Burlington, behind the Becker Plaza, next to Target. Most all of you guys know, I believe, who I am. Met with you guys before on the project we're doing in West Burlington on Lane Drive, but I formed Midwest Realty Group in 2014 to focus mainly on residential and light commercial development opportunities here in southeast Iowa. Currently, we have a workforce housing tax credit project that we're finishing up on Lane Drive in West Burlington. And we also are doing some custom home building in the area and some spec homes as well. So this program, the Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program, is what I brought forth to you as a council about 3 years ago for when I developed the townhomes, condos in West Burlington on Lane Drive. That same program that is offered through the state has opened back up. They have a very tight timeline through that application process, so our applications are actually due July 19th. What this program offers to builders and developers is a tax credit to provide affordable new construction. There's different categories in which you can do it. You can build single-family homes, duplex townhomes, or multifamily housing. The project cost cannot exceed $215,000 per dwelling unit. However, there's some proposed legislation that cost cap could get eliminated. We're unsure of that at this point. Another item on that is the project must be completed within 3 years of that award, and it does have to include a local match from the community in which you're building, and that can be in the form of a TIF rebate, tax abatement, etc. I don't know if any of you guys have had a chance to drive back there on Lane Drive lately, but these are some photos of the project that I'm doing back there. The townhomes, this picture shown was the first phase I started last year during lovely COVID, but we have broke ground on the remaining 3 buildings that we're under construction right now. So as you can see, you know, we've done, I feel, maybe I'm a little biased, but a very nice job of providing these units. We have sold and also rented several of them. They sold around that $209 to $219 price point. The units that we do have rented are either at $1,700 a month, or we have one that is a corporate furnished unit that we lease out as well. So we've got some very nice units out here that we've recruited some doctors, engineers, attorneys that have all relocated here to this area. What we have proposed here this evening is an apartment complex or building that would be approximately 4 different 12plexes, so 48 units in total. So where this would be located would be on Houston Street and Lane Drive, so very close to proximity of where we're building. The green outline is just kind of a sketch of what the building footprint itself may look like. Depending on parking lots and stuff, those may have to move a little bit or change, but that's kind of the initial concept of what we're looking at doing. So the star is obviously the proposed location right next to Target. The estimated cost for this is about $6.25 million. Would produce an estimated $205,000 additional tax revenue. Obviously, I know all that does not go to the city, but these would be market rate rental properties. We anticipate the rental rates on these around $1,200 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and we would also look at doing some 3-bedroom, 2-bath units as well. This is the proposed elevation of the building that we would do for those 12plexes. They're very similar in concept to the Stonegate apartments, actually, that's off of West Avenue at the roundabout over there in Burlington. I think John handed out, sorry I didn't introduce John either. This is John Mercer, he's my business partner as well, and Ben Brink here, who is going to be a partner in this on the land side with us. I think he may have handed out some other drawings and floor plans, but so we're here this evening hoping that you guys would support our application for the tax credits to the state of Iowa. Part of that, the requirement is we get a resolution from the city council that you guys would support it in some sort of a monetary fashion. So whether that be through a future tax abatement opportunity, tax increment financing rebates, or any other incentive that would meet those minimum requirements. Any questions for me or gentlemen or anything else you'd like to add?
I'd like to just make a couple quick comments, if I may. As Ryan mentioned, I would be involved from a land standpoint. I own the land behind Becker Plaza that they're contemplating building these 4plexes. I've been in the commercial real estate industry for roughly 30 years. Done some development, a lot of investing in various type of projects. I met with Ryan and John Met with them a couple different times, chatted with them, and I'm in full favor of what they're proposing. I think I think the uses is accurate for the land. I think it'll make a nice transition between the single-family portion to the multifamily to commercial, which is what Becker Plaza is. I'm hopeful that you all will support what they're trying to develop. Thank you.
Any questions from council? As like Ryan said, we have done this in the past when he was building the first set of homes back there with state qualifying tax credits, and I think a resolution of support doesn't lock us into any monetary things right now, and we can always hash that out. But we need to either tax abatement or TIF or...
Yeah, that's kind of how we looked at it, more leaving it open-ended to, once we come back with the actual, because we will have to come back to you. We'll probably have to do a minor subdivision to join those two lots together. There will be some future things. Like I said, this is kind of high level right now discussion. Just needed that resolution that hopefully you guys support what we're trying to do here in West Burlington.
I think we need housing. I mean, the three letters that you just passed out, you know, and Della's one of them that has written that letter. You got any comments you want to make about it, or?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. It's always a pleasure to be before you. It's been a while. COVID stole a lot, didn't it? So the letter speaks for itself. The Greater Burlington Partnership supports this project and encourages the West Burlington Council to take a look at this. Housing is the #1 issue facing our employers. It is one of the most cited reasons that we lose on candidates that some of our employers are seeking after. And so anything that we can do to partner with developers who are ready to invest and create additional housing, whether it be for young professionals, single professionals, helping senior citizens who maybe want to downsize, and then that opens up their family homes for others who are looking to upsize. All of that matters. And so we appreciate your consideration of this request and hope to work with you on making this a reality.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Just a couple items. I plan to run some numbers on TIF, but given the limitations regarding housing, that may not be the best option for council to consider. There's the LMI set aside as well with the, if we were to proceed with a housing TIF agreement in this case. But I'll run some numbers in regards to tax increment financing. I would like to bring tax abatement discussion back to City Council as well. I think this would be a better location for council to consider tax abatement going forward in this area. This was identified 19, 20 years ago as how this area, I guess we planned for this area to develop. There'd be commercial along Agency, and then back it would grow into multifamily residential housing, and ultimately down the road we'd like to see, or at that point in time we were hoping to see a single-family residential eventually. But this fits right in with that initial planning process, though it was a long time ago. But
I know when we sat here 2 years ago, one of our top priorities was housing. I spent all day with a gentleman from Minnesota that wants to move here, and there's nothing available. And I've had these same discussions with Great River about their housing issues as well. So I also am lucky enough to work with these two gentlemen every day at RE/MAX as well. I've also sold some of their houses, which
which it probably means more to me, though, because I've seen the construction and how happy the people are in there. So I'm greatly in support of the project. I think it's a perfect place for it. For our town, that's exactly where I'd put it if I was going to decide an area of town to put these kind of buildings. So I'm in favor.
Okay. Would like to make a motion to approve the resolution?
I make the motion to approve the resolution.
Support.
There's a motion with support. Is there any other further discussion?
And Ryan, you said rent on these would be anywhere from 1,200 to what?
Right now, our pro forma that we've ran, the 2 bedrooms would run around $1,200 a month, and then the 3 bedrooms are probably gonna be about $1,350.
So if we build them, they'll come, right?
Right? There is high demand. I mean, I've seen it throughout what I have here in West Burlington currently, working at Remax as well. There is a high demand. We've visited with other landowner or landlords throughout, the communities that there's just high demand, very low vacancies throughout. So I think there is a high need. So, yeah. Our lease-up period, I think, will be rather quickly, to answer your question.
Plus the housing, it's a benefit to the schools too, bringing in more kids to the schools, so.
Yeah.
In a way, it's helping the schools here in West Burlington.
Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Lees,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Knightmeyer.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate your time, guys.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll talk further. Item number 2 is to consider payment of Klinger and Associates for engineering services related to the Rice Grant application, in the amount of $3,740.
Motion to approve.
Support.
And motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Crowner,
Aye.
Knightmeyer.
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3 is to consider payment of French Reniker Associates for engineering services related to the Mount Pleasant Street resurfacing project in the amount of $4,700.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Knightmeyer.
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 4 is consider payment to Snyder Associates for engineering services related to the following project: the South Lift Station in the amount of $4,655.25, Des Moines County Landfill Lift Station, $1,652.24, and the Water Tower and Booster Station project, the amount of $8,622.20.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion with support. Any discussion? Roll call.
Lees. Lees,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Knightmeyer.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 5 is to discuss some options for filling a vacancy on the city council. As you can, I think Kelly sent out a copy of Al's resignation, that he was resigning effective immediately, and for personal reasons, is what he had written down. I appreciate Al's time that he did spend on the council, the 6 years that he served, and there's a couple of different ways on filling an open seat. One is an appointment, if there's anybody interested in wanting to serve. What we've done in the past is, I think Royce got appointed his first time around. We put it out there on Facebook or newspaper or whatever. The council is interested in appointing, and if people are interested to serve, throw their name in the hat, and then you've got the option to interview people, or if you're comfortable with whoever you want to settle on, you can appoint. If that isn't the way you want to go and have a special election, the special election has to be held within a time frame, and with this being an election year, that time frame could coincide with the time that you get to have an appointment. You can appoint within 60 days from the time that the resignation was effective, and Al had dated this June 27th, so 60 days from now, from there would be like August 26th, I believe. And the other thing is, if you appoint and somebody out there doesn't like that you appointed somebody, they could bring a petition within 14 days. They could bring a petition saying that you need to have a special election.
There's a cost to having a special election.
Yeah, and
too.
then there's that additional cost to have the special election. Or you can just wait till the general election in November.
I think we have
Well,
to
you have to
put it together.
appoint, yeah.
There's just.
Or you have to have someone.
Yeah, we either have to appoint or have a special election. I think there's too many days.
I don't know that there's enough time to have a special election.
I know it.
Given the requirements, I don't think
Well, you
you'll
have
be able to
to,
get one, I don't think you'd be able to get a special election done, noticed, and out the door in time.
I think
to
you
meet the state
do,
requirements.
if you decide at the next council meeting.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah,
You might just barely meet it for an August
Yeah.
election.
Well, hopefully by the next meeting, we can get some people step forward.
Yeah, both due to the timing and the cost, I'd certainly be more in favor of appointing.
Well, why don't we give them until next meeting to show interest, and if they don't, we'll bang on doors and see who would be interested as an appointment. At least that's giving them 2 weeks to say, oh yeah, I'm really interested in that. They have the opportunity.
Will there be something on the city's website saying,
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were just waiting to see what you wanted to
Okay,
do.
yeah.
We have like an interest form, like a, if you're interested form to fill out, just kind of, not really an application, just to let you know who would, some information about the person, and then we've done that one other time, and
Okay.
We'll get that out on the website, social media. If you've got any ideas on where you'd like to get that posted, just let us know.
Okay.
It might not even hurt to send a notice to the radio station or stations, or even to the Quad City television stations. Might get a little coverage.
Yeah.
We could put a press release out and send it to
Press
everybody.
release,
Okay.
Okay. We'll go that route for now. Old business, consider entering into the IDOT street maintenance agreement. That was something that we had pulled here a couple of meetings ago because we wanted to check in on some things, and Greg did do some checking to where we aren't, if we don't have the equipment, we can't be held responsible to do some of the stuff like plow the sidewalk over the freeway.
And those steep grassy embankments as well. If we have policies from a safety perspective, we don't have the equipment to do it, then we're not responsible for maintaining it. The interim district engineer for District 5 happens to be the gentleman that's been in charge of maintenance for the past 35, 40 years for IDOT, so we had a good conversation.
So then it's gonna
I'd
be
recommend
up
approval.
to them, since we don't have the equipment, to be mowing under the underpasses?
It'd be those embankments, and I don't think they've been historically been mowed or maintained. I don't know if you've sprayed them.
No, not
as
for
well.
years. We haven't, just because
Use mow-
all of our mowers and tractors, when you drive up and then you try and come down, you can't stop them. You end up in Broadway Street or you end up on Mount Pleasant. I mean, I've done it for a few years and it's just a huge
Historically-
safety thing.
Historically, you've mowed up as far
What I've done
as
is-
you can, or as practical?
As
mower or
trees
weed
start to
whacker,
grow,
and
we go up and cut the
then
trees just so we don't get brush, but
Let-
otherwise it's just the grass and the weeds
let them
come up and
run
then they die off each other.
natural
and we go
state.
again.
You think the language in this agreement covers everything that you talked about? We're not able to change the language in the agreement, per the administrative code.
Part of the code of Iowa's. That was my major worry, that, you know, they would hold us responsible for doing, you know, like snow removal on the overpasses and, or making us mow all the way up to the top of the incline. And, you know, he reassured Greg that they wouldn't, so.
So then do we have to send them the letter to maintain their property, or can we penalize them? Where's my building
luck with that.
inspector when I need him?
There's times I'd like to send the governor a letter
Well, yeah, I know.
on doing the, you know, off of the freeway, cutting their weeds.
Why don't they just rock it?
I don't know. Anyway, need a motion to approve that item.
Make a motion, we approve the agreements presented.
Support?
Motion with support. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Christie,
Aye.
Crowner,
Aye.
Knightmeyer.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carried. All the citizens bailed out on us, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.